हेलो एंड वेलकम बैक टू योर ओन यूट्यूब चैनल, योर ओन पाठशाला ज्योतिशाला। तो फ्रेंड्स, कैसे हैं आप सभी? आशा करती हूँ आप सभी अच्छे ही होंगे। इसके पहले कि मैं क्लास की शुरुआत करूँ, यदि आप तक आपने मेरा चैनल सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है तो इसे ज़रूर सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए ताकि आपको आने वाले वीडियोज़ की अपडेट मिलती रहे। तो चलिए क्लास की शुरुआत करते हैं। पिछले क्लास के वीडियो में मैंने आपको बताया था इंग्लिश के स्टैंडर्ड 10 के, इंग्लिश के ICSE के जूलियस सीजर ड्रामा के बारे में, जहाँ पर हम पढ़ रहे थे एक्ट 3 सीन 1 के समरी के बारे में। मैंने आपको हाफ समरी ही दी थी उस वीडियो में। तो चलिए हाफ समरी मैं आपको इस वीडियो में देती हूँ ताकि आपको सीन के साथ पढ़ने में आसानी होगी। टेक्स्ट के साथ में यदि आपको उसके पहले समरी की जानकारी हो जाए तो टेक्स्ट पढ़ने में आसानी होती है। तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं। So we see that when Caesar has been stabbed, so what is the environment or what is the scenario of the streets of Rome? So we see there that there is utter chaos and confusion, and the citizens run about the streets crying out while Cinna tells them to shout, "Liberty, freedom, tyranny is dead." So Cinna is a character here who tells, like, as soon as Caesar is stabbed, since there was a lot of crowd gathered there, crowd of the conspirators, that is the gathering of the conspirators, gathering of the commoners, gathering of the senators. So there is utter chaos and confusion in the streets of Rome. And Cinna, a character there, he tries to tell his conspirator friends to go to the pulpit, that is the public platform, and shout out or announce that liberty, freedom, and tyranny is dead. That we have won freedom, we are liberal, we have been imparted liberty, and the tyrant Caesar is dead. Tyrant, that is the dominant Caesar, is dead, is no more. Brutus tries to reassure and address the senators, but they are too terrified to hear him. So Brutus tried to convince all the senators. He tries to talk with them, but they were in utter confusion and chaos, so no one was ready to listen to what Brutus says. And Antony, in a fit of shock and amazement, flees to his house and sends his servant to find out the reason why Caesar deserved to die. So Antony, in a fit of shock, since Antony was very much close to Caesar, he was his fast friend. So he is in utter shock. He is stunned with the death of Caesar all of a sudden. So he is shocked, and in order to save his own life, he tries to run away to his place, and he flees to his place, leaving his servant behind. He flees to his own house in order to save his life, and in order to later he'll come to know what is the reason behind why Caesar met such a disaster. So from the moment the servant enters the scene, sent by by clever Antony, the cause of the conspirators is doomed. So from the moment the servant enters the scene, so we see that Antony flees away. That is, he runs away to his house, and we see here that the servant is there to correspond with Brutus, to correspond with the conspirators. That what was the reason why Caesar was stabbed, why Caesar was killed. So he is there to find out the reason and to convey his master's message to Brutus and the conspirators. So Brutus vouches for Antony's safety. So Brutus here, voucher here means promises. Brutus promises that if Antony will come here to know the reason for Caesar's death, then definitely Antony will be unharmed. Nobody will hurt Antony for the reason that he was the past friend of Caesar. So he will be unharmed. So he is welcome. Brutus welcomes Antony, and he conveys this message to Antony's servant that yes, your master can come here to the scene. Now Antony appears soon after, overcome with grief and lamentations. So we will see the entry of Antony here. Antony will come to the place, to the spot where Caesar is lying dead. He'll come there definitely because Caesar was his fast friend. So he is in grief. He is in grief and lamentation. That means he will cry. Brutus reassures Antony that no harm is meant for him, and he will explain the details why Caesar was killed once he has calmed the crowd. So Brutus reassures Antony. So once Antony is in the scene, is in the spot, is in the moment where Caesar is lying dead. So Brutus assures him that he will be unharmed, nobody will harm him, that he will be untouched, and he will all and they will convey the message. Brutus will also convey to Antony that why Caesar was killed. Why Caesar was killed, he will definitely convey it, that, or he'll justify the killing of Brutus will justify the killing of Caesar to Antony. He clarifies that, he reassures that. Now Antony extends his hand. So that is, Brutus also tells him that I will tell you everything, but let me settle the crowd first. Since there was chaos and confusion, so he said, let me settle the crowd first, then I'll tell you, I'll convey you everything. Moving forward, Antony extends his hand of friendship to all the conspirators, and requests Brutus to give him permission to speak in the Caesar's funeral. So here Antony extends his hand of friendship. So seeing the scenario where he was surrounded with the conspirators, so out of fear, out of a threat, that he surrenders himself. Antony surrenders himself in front of the conspirators. In front of the conspirators, he surrenders himself in order to, and we have already learnt in the last acts and scenes that Antony was Antony was very clever, and he had quite a reach, that he could do anything. So he was he was acting smart here. He was trying to save himself also here from the hands of the conspirators. So he forwarded his hand of friendship towards the conspirators. So, and he also convinces the conspirators that he should be allowed to give the oration, at the time of Caesar's funeral. So he tried to convince the conspirators that he should be allowed to do so. Now Cassius is alarmed. See, that is, after Cassius speaks about, after Antony tells everything to Brutus, that he wants the oration, he wants to convey the oration speech at the Caesar's funeral. So Cassius regards this as something wrong. So Cassius is very much alarmed at this, whatever Antony conveys to Brutus. He is a little alarmed. He is a little, you can say, he's a little, what to say? I am not getting the word. So that is, he is alarmed. He is very conscious. Yes, the right word is conscious. He is very conscious that why should Antony give an oration speech? Is something going in Antony's mind? He's thinking that. Cassius is thinking that. So Cassius is alarmed. He's very much conscious. He's very much alarmed at his words. But Brutus overrules Cassius. And this is the greatest blunder Brutus makes, of allowing Antony to speak in Caesar's funeral. But Brutus ignores any of the warnings given by Cassius. He ignores his words, and he says, no, nothing will happen, and Antony should be allowed to give the oration speech at Caesar's death. At Caesar's funeral. So this was the biggest mistake that Brutus made. Later we'll see in the scenes to follow. He lays certain conditions before Antony, that the latter will speak only after Brutus's speech. So Brutus definitely lays down some rules and regulations for Antony, that Antony should speak at the funeral. Definitely Antony will be allowed to speak at the funeral, but it will be only after Brutus's speech. So Antony agrees for that also. Antony in no way will blame the conspirators, but can speak all good of Caesar. So Antony was it was made sure that it was convinced with, Antony was asked to convince that he will not speak anything against the conspirators, but he will only speak about the good of Caesar, about how good Caesar was. Moreover, before he speaks, he must tell the crowd that he speaks with the permission of all the conspirators. Moreover, when Antony was allowed to speak, now Antony was given another condition. Then Antony was said that when you will convey the the oration at the funeral of Caesar, then you also clarify the crowd that you are allowed to speak only with the conspirators' permission. Last of all, he must speak from the same platform as Brutus. And lastly, the third condition was that he would be allowed to speak only from the same platform where Brutus is going to give the speech. So these were the three conditions given to Antony by Brutus. Now moving forward, Antony accepts all the conditions. and the conspirators leave the scene. So the conspirators, they leave the scene. When left alone, Antony grieves over the body of Caesar and asks Caesar's body to forgive him for extending his hand of friendship to all the conspirators who so brutally have killed him. So when Antony accepts all these conditions by Brutus, then the conspirators leave the scene. Then the conspirators are away from the scene; they're not in the scene. When Antony is left alone, then he is lamenting in front of his friend's body, and he's asking for forgiveness from Caesar's spirit or Caesar's body, that please forgive me that I have shaken hands with the bloodstained, with your conspirators, with your killers, with your hunters. I have shaken hands with your hunters who have shot you down, or who have stabbed you down here. So sorry for having friendship with them. So he's asking for forgiveness from Caesar's body. In an extreme state of emotion, Antony professes that a curse will fall upon the limbs of men, and domestic fury and fierce civil strife shall cumber all the parts of Italy. So, in an extreme state of emotion, definitely he is very much like you can imagine the state of condition of Antony, the state of emotions he is in. On one hand, he has to shake hand with the conspirators who are responsible for stabbing his dearest friend, and on the other hand, the body of his friend lying there. So he is in a very pathetic situation at this point of time. So he professes, like he promises, Antony promises, and he professes a curse also to for the conspirators, that their limbs, that they will be chopped off from their limbs. Their limbs will be chopped off, and the fury and there will be a civil war inside Italy, and each and every corner of Italy would burn with civil war. Caesar's spirit, with the goddess Ate by his side from hell, shall cry with mighty voice havoc, and the evil deed shall smell over the earth. So that is, he is saying that here Antony is saying that Caesar's spirit from the gods, Caesar's spirit is with the gods, and from the heaven, Caesar would announce a lot of evil on Italy, would announce a lot of chaos in Italy, a lot of havoc in Italy for killing him so brutally. So he will announce that. Now we'll see, yes, evil did smell of the earth along with the rotting bodies of men groaning to be buried. Means the people, he even professes that people in Italy, especially the conspirators, they would be rotten, the bodies would be rotten, and they would crave for graves. But the graves, that is I'm talking about the graves of the graveyard, they will crave for graves, but they will not be given the graves to bury themselves even. So such was the curse given by Antony to the conspirators. Now a servant of Octavius Caesar comes with the news that his master is approaching Rome. So one of the servants of Octavius Caesar, he comes with the news that his master is approaching, that is Octavius Caesar is approaching to Rome. Antony sends a message that Octavius should wait a while, as Rome is not a safe place for him. So Antony imparts a message or conveys a message to Octavius Caesar through his servant, that he should not enter Rome now, because Rome is not a safe place for him at present. Antony requests the servant to help him carry Caesar's body to the marketplace. So we also see that Antony requests his servant to help him in carrying Caesar's body to the marketplace, that is to the public square. So this is the summary that I gave you of Act 3 Scene 1. In the next videos, my content will follow, that is, I will explain you along with the text. And please, if you have not subscribed my channel until now, do subscribe my channel, and don't forget to hit the bell icon button, so that you can get the updated videos as soon as they are uploaded. Thank you.